Jen's Addiction. I'm so glad you came back to see me today. I hope you find today's episode to be a little thought-provoking or interesting. I really came to wanting to do this one in part because of organizing my own record collection, my own comic collection and books, and just sort of revisiting albums and things, items that I purchased this year, the way in which I purchased them, the places that I got them from. And it just kind of brought that subject matter a little front and center for me. I really love being able to support artists directly. I also love to be able to support my local record stores and small businesses. And so there's always that struggle for me about how am I spending my money the best to support the organizations, businesses, and artists that I love, but also how am I getting the most for my money? As many of you know, vinyl is not cheap. We are all talking about it. We're still talking about it. So this sort of is a piggyback episode to the one I did earlier on this year about comparing vinyl costs, new vinyl versus old vinyl, maybe what you're spending your money on and how those compare. So again, it may not always be the cheapest options that I'm about to maybe showcase and show, but I thought I would show some of the albums I picked up today, tell you why I bought them, where I bought them, and give you a little bit of food for thought. So as you kind of look forward to purchasing something new, I mean, a lot of albums nowadays, bands we love are creating things, they're going to show up somewhere, but maybe giving you other options or ways of thinking about buying. So, having said that, I've chosen, when I can, I've chosen to buy directly from an artist. I feel that is the best way to support somebody by giving them my financial support and buying the music and art that they create and I love. It lets them keep a little bit more in pocket, which I think also when they can produce things and do it on their own terms, it gives them a little more creative freedom and ability to do stuff. So I appreciate that. And in a lot of cases, you are rewarded by limited edition pressings, special colors, maybe extra songs, sometimes a signature. So things like that I think are fun and great extras to have. And you don't then have to wait just for, record store day to get something exclusive. There's stuff out there every day, all day, that we can tap into as consumers and music lovers that allow us to stretch our dollar and get a little more bang for our buck. And I love that direct connection with fans. One platform that I had not been overly familiar with, and I'm a little bit more so now, is the Bandcamp platform. And many of you may sell your own products there. Maybe you have your own bands and do your own music. I have a few friends who produce music digitally and sell digital downloads through Bandcamp, which is awesome. And I love being able to hear their music. And then bigger acts that I had never even thought about that would be using Bandcamp are using it. The first example I would have that I really didn't expect and I purchased a physical item from was the Peter Murphy album, Silver Shade. I talked about this one earlier. It's a great album. If you haven't picked it up already, I love it. The link through Peter Murphy's personal website will direct you to Bandcamp, which then is how I ordered this album. It came with silver records. Again, I displayed this in a review that I had done of this particular album. The cost was not crazy. It was probably the same. Most of these are going to be the $24.95 to $39.95, $40 some dollar range that we're seeing on average. But the fact that I know Bandcamp tends to put more money back in the pockets of the artists that they represent, maybe anywhere from 80 to 95% more, kind of made me feel good. I really, really, really love Peter Murphy. And then also just knowing if he's getting a benefit like that, that means any artist that's on there is getting that benefit, right? So I think it seems like a great way to support bands, to promote yourself, to get your products out there. So anyway, that was really cool. So that was really my first experience with Bandcamp where I could physically purchase merchandise, and I wasn't disappointed. I thought that was a really good resource and something I'm kind of keeping an eye out on more. I think when you go to Bandcamp, you can also filter how you look for music. And if you want to look for artist exclusives or things that are exclusive to Bandcamp, you can narrow that down. And even if that means supporting an artist that you've never supported before, maybe it's some new music to you. There's so much out there. It's crazy to look at. The next kind of platform I was unfamiliar with, which I have a couple of notes and I'm going to save them. So if I look down, please forgive me. My memory is not as good today as I want it to be. I had not been familiar with a service called Pledge Music, and had done the Damned Evil Spirits. This had been a project that had been done through Pledge Music. It was autographed. It's limited to the numbers that were autographed, though. It came with this little postcard and a guitar pick that kind of thanked you for supporting the Damned, and just, helping them to get that backing and that knowledge of how many people wanted this album to come to be. It's a great album, by the way. If you haven't listened to it, gosh, it's just, Standing on the Edge of Tomorrow is such a great song. There's just so much on here that's really awesome. So I thought that was a great pickup, and again, an option to support a band directly and get something a little extra. I think the autographs are great. I always say if you can have your record signed in person. I took I think it was the Cramps tribute. I think I showed that earlier, to Comic-Con this year, and William Shatner had done a version of Garbage Man, and I had him sign it. That's a great experience, and I would never not do that. But if you can have, some of your favorite artists sign something that that you love, I don't know. This is really great and definitely a treasured part of my collection. So super, super excited to have that. And like I said, that was the Pledge Music app, and I was not familiar with that. Again, costs, secondary market cost a little bit more, but initially to do something like that, even through Kickstarter, not crazy expensive. You have options you can pick within your budget, but I thought that was super cool. So sort of to piggyback on that, getting pre-orders through websites of artists that I love has been something I've done a lot more of this year. And then last year really sort of kickstarted it when I knew that Songs of a Lost World was coming out. I really wanted a copy of it. And I just went on the Cure's website and they were offering pre-sales. This is a white vinyl. I think that is a limited edition. And I believe this was the only way to get this particular color was the Cure's website in and of itself. So I did that. I took advantage of it. And again, I thought maybe it just felt like I was supporting them a little bit more directly by buying directly from them. Obviously they have, their record label and all that, but anyway, that came directly from the Cure. I got it super fast once it was released. So I could not have been more happy to have gotten that. Another artist that I've supported through their website this year with really cool exclusive merchandise has been Bananarama. My friend Tobias Grombel, who has a YouTube channel, I've talked about Tobias before. He's a Bananarama fan, and he showcased this glorious live album on his channel. This one came signed. So you have Karen and Sarah signed that. There's it's blue vinyl, but having it signed, the purchase price really was no different than I think if I'd have bought it on its own, but I got the signatures. So that was really extra exciting to me. And then when I was scrolling through their website, looking at what else they had, they came out with Glorious, the Ultimate Collection. So it spans their whole career with a lot of songs that were never available on vinyl. It was a numbered, super heavy, a numbered box set. So that one's hand numbered. Each one came with a really pretty signed picture. Again, they signed them both. It's signed in gold Sharpie. I thought that was awesome. So I got that signature. And then the box set itself, I think, is exclusive to them. It came with a super cool book. So I got the book with it, which kind of tracks their career. And I really love it because it showcases a lot of fashion from that era. And they get to really kind of show off. I'm trying to find a good picture here. They really get to show off the things that made them so well known in the 80s and made them fashion icons, I think, kind of in their own right. So there's some great outtakes in the book. So the album also came in really beautiful packaging. This is a trifold package, and it's kind of like a crystally red LP. Three of them, they all came together. So that I thought was really an awesome find. Now, I will say the box set, was a little more, but the fact that it was autographed, the fact that it comes with the book and all that together, you get the 3 records. It was around a little over $90, I think, for that. So I know that's not always in everybody's wheelhouse, and I can totally appreciate that. But if you are willing to spend money on something like that and to have that kind of collection, of Bananarama was something I really wanted. So, but to have it signed and all those extras, I thought that was super cool. So real good pickup. I am a comic book fan. I've always been a Batman, a Joker fan. I was a Harley Quinn fan. I'm not going to say was. I am a Harley Quinn fan. I just prefer original Harley to modern. But I was excited when the Joker movie was going to come out with Lady Gaga, and she did the whole themed album. So this was a pre-order off of her website. It came with a different cover, obviously, than what was mass produced. And the other part that I thought was really neat was the liner notes pages for the record. It folds out, so you have all the lyrics and information on one side, and then it folded out into this massive poster on the other that I thought was just really neat. So it was just kind of marketed really cool. Again, I didn't pay that much more for it than I would have anywhere else out in a regular store. So I thought that was kind of cool. Just something a little bit different. You can all tell me in the comments below. I have not seen that movie yet. I liked the Joker. It was a surprise to me. But I've never seen that. Maybe you can tell me if you liked it or not. I haven't watched it yet. I like the album though, and she does some beautiful work and some great songs. So another one I ordered directly from the artist was Andy Bell's 10 Crowns. I love Erasure and I love Andy Bell. So I went to his website and I was able to pick this up. It comes with an autographed print. So that's hand signed by him, which I thought was super, super cool. And it has sort of like an ox blood colored record inside. I really should show it. It is super pretty. It was exclusive to his website, and the fact that I could get a signed, limited edition. I think this says limited edition signed art card, 2025, with the first release of Crown Recording Limited, Andy Bell's 10 Crowns. So it's got all that kind of written on the back. And some of these I think I've kept with the records. I wouldn't mind figuring out a way to get loose autographs like this all framed up or showcased in some way. So I'm kind of working on that. Another one that was a great surprise and super affordable. I watched a live stream through Kate Pearson's Facebook page when her album came out for Radios and Rainbows. Isn't that a fun cover? I thought that was super fun. And I got watching it. Well, for $24, you could order it directly from Kate, and you got her autograph. So she signed that card for you. Now, if you went to a convention, you could easily pay $40 to $60 probably to have somebody just sign something for you. So the fact I got the autograph, I got the album, it was all super cool for $24. I don't know. I thought it was awesome. There still might be a few of these available, but it's, again, you have to be a fan, I think, and know where to look. It's not always just out there to know to purchase. And I follow her on Instagram and Facebook, and that's how I knew that was happening. So the next one I love to show, and I think I might need to do an extra episode, was a follow-up with Cuckoo. I have so much more Cuckoo product. If you watch my episode on my love of Debbie Harry's album, Cuckoo, I'm cuckoo for Cuckoo. But this was the limited edition clear vinyl. It has some beautiful artwork on it. I'll have to showcase it, I think, at a different time. But this has that lenticular cover to it. It is limited and it's numbered. It also has an art print inside of her in her full makeup that Giger had done, Christine. uses that same picture that's in here for the cover of his book, Metamorphosis. So again, I get like, I don't know, it was $40 some. So I'm getting that limited edition. I'm getting all these extras with it. And it's just kind of unique to having ordered it through their website. Another thing that I think my husband, he got this for me as a gift, and he might have ordered it from their website too. I have read and listened cover to cover to Face It over and over again. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you get audiobooks. It's awesome because she reads it to you, and I think that makes it even more powerful. But it's signed on the inside, so you're able to just basically buy the book and it's a signed copy. And that was sort of a super awesome, fun surprise. I think that might have been a Valentine's Day gift. So another interesting option for picking up records that might be unique and maybe a little different and that hold up over time. And again, I'm not always thinking about resale value because I buy my albums to keep them for me. But you can't help but think that you are spending your money wisely and that things that you buy will at least hold their value to some degree. I don't know, just mentally, I like to know those things. Makes me feel good. One thing that we've done a couple of times now is order records through Spotify. So this was Sparks' new album, Mad. This was a Spotify. You had to be a top Sparks fan to get the notice that you could purchase this record through Spotify. There were 200 made. It came with a art print, which I can see that. It's just kind of crazy. There they are, all repeated. So it came with that art print. I think part of the uniqueness of this particular copy, which might be a little hard, you can't appreciate it as much than if you could hold it through a light, but this looks very dark, but it's a brighter Spotify green. So it is a green copy. Plays really great. It's a fun album. If you've not listened to this new Sparks album yet, I would totally recommend that you do, especially if you're a Sparks fan. So I really look forward to seeing them coming up here this fall. We have tickets to go see them, and I'm super excited. But that was a great way to get something a little unique. And I mean, it's new. So I love that. Another thing about Sparks, I will say, is in ordering that, we also get information from Spotify about new albums and things that are coming up for release that we may not know about otherwise. And I think that was, what did I write down? So I think it's 2017. They did launched what they call Fans First. So an artist can link merchandise, concert information, exclusive album information. They work with Spotify to create things like that particular album I just showed. But we heard, I think it was probably through the Fans First, concert information about Sparks, concert information, I think about Franz Ferdinand, Psychedelic Furs. So we were able to find out about things first. Peter Murphy, that was the same thing. I was notified he had a new album coming out. I don't think I would have known really otherwise. It was the release of the single with Boy George that they highlighted on Spotify, and that helped connect me to that whole chain of things happening. Kim Wilde, that was the same situation. So when Duran Duran decided to do their Dance Macabre album, that it was coming out, we were notified on Spotify that it was a thing, it was happening. And so super excited. So we did the pre-order through Spotify to get this particular album, and it was limited in the amount that you had of this particular color. I think it was supposed to be white and red. It ended up being clear and red, but this one has just, secondary market on that has went nuts. And I can't remember how many copies this was limited to. But again, that was supposedly an exclusive Spotify color combination. It opens up in that gatefold. I think a lot of them do the Ouija board. I think it's the color of the album that is specific to Spotify, not any of the extras that are inside of it. But there's a book that comes with it and all that. So that was a cool find. I love this album, by the way. I love the reworkings of their original music in a new way. So good. And the fact that Andy Taylor's on that is awesome. So then kind of fast forward, we're notified through Spotify that they are adding, not re-releasing Dance Macabre. They're keeping it in its original perform, but they are adding a secondary record with 6 additional songs to it, one of which was a new take. I think they did Evil Woman, so that's on here. I don't think that was colored vinyl, though. I think that was just, black. But that came in a box set. You could order it separately, but there also was a box set that became available, and it is heavy. It's a big box set. But it has that additional record. It has the original record in it. It has looks like a photo album inside that shows you like all these pictures that look like really old family photographs. You get an actual harder Ouija board that looks like the center gatefold. They did tarot cards. They did a special book on the inside, like if you wanted to study spiritualism and palm reading and all the spooky stuff, like for Halloween, right? So we were notified through Spotify. We were able to order that directly from Duran Duran. It took a while to get it, unfortunately, but we did finally get our copy. So again, I'm a big long time Duranie, so having that in my collection is something I wanted. It may not be for everybody, and cost wise, not cheap, but not what I would have not expected. But I liked the fact I could order it through a different way, so it was keeping my eyes open for that. So another thing I have done lately, I have one that's going to be coming soon, is order books. Autographed books. I love to get biographies, especially of rock musicians. And Premier Collectibles is a website that has been specializing in autographed books and other memorabilia. So this is some new kind of kick. It was Kid Congo Power's autobiography, super good. He does an Audible version. He reads his own autobiography. That is his signature. And then, whoops, there it goes. This also comes with, they do like a certificate of authenticity. So not any more expensive, I don't believe, when it came out. I think it was $29 originally for the book. And a lot of these come with the autograph as part of the purchase price. So that's a cool thought. I have Budgie's new book, Budgie, the drummer from Susie and the Banshees and Creatures. His new book's coming out. It's going to be autographed, and I think I ordered it through Premier Collectibles. Another favorite thing that we have been doing in the last couple of years is hitting the merchandise booths at concerts that we go to and looking for exclusive things to those shows and ways to make purchases exclusively at those shows. One happy surprise, I went and saw Elvis Costello again a year ago. He had signed copies of his new biography at the merch table, so I could not resist. And again, it wasn't any more expensive. I think the book itself was $30, and I think we maybe paid $35 for it to be signed or something. It wasn't that much more, but if I was going to get the book anyway, why not get it signed? So I haven't read all that all the way through yet, but I just thought I would showcase that one. We recently, I think I'd mentioned, were able to see one of the last shows before Jill Sobule had passed away. She stayed at the merch booth after the concert, was so gracious to fans, signed all kinds of stuff, and the prices of what you purchased were no different. But it was just an extra bonus. Had I bought t-shirts or things in other ways in other places, I wouldn't have gotten that extra perk. So being mindful that she was there and doing that was fun, and we took the time to go by that table, and I'm so glad that I did. Not disappointed. Another kind of the last little highlight to piggyback onto the concert was we went and saw, I think it was, okay, so we saw Jesus, I'll start there. We saw Jesus and Mary Chain, and they were with Psychedelic Furs, Jesus and Mary Chain, and we bought that at their merch table. So it's pre-signed by the guys. So that was awesome to get a copy. And again, it was the price of the record and just, $5 or $10 more for the signatures. I thought that was super, super cool. Another opening act was Frankie Rose, and we were not familiar with her really until we got there, and some really nice couples sitting next to us. We were talking about music, and they were so excited to see her, and we said we hadn't seen her before. And they told us what an amazing album she had done, a complete cover of The Cure's 17 Seconds, which I happened to order from her website. They were on sale at her merch table. But after the concert, for whatever reason, it was just packed, and oh, I don't know, we ended up leaving and they didn't have all the records we wanted. And I thought, well, I'll just order it online. So when I ordered it online, she has an album out called Interstellar. There's a third one I can't remember the title for. And this one called Love. I think there's another one, Love as Projection. So I ordered this one all from her website. And when I ordered it, I emailed them and asked if she could sign anything, because I think she had been signing during Jesus and Mary Chain's set. She'd went out into the lobby and had signed at the table. So, and they said yes. So I got the 17 Seconds album, which again, super good. If you're a Cure fan, she's a beautiful voice, just really, really beautiful voice. So she signed that copy. She also signed the copy of Interstellar. And then she also signed the other copy. Again, I always forget this title. It's hard for me to remember. Love is Projection. Why can I not remember that? But she signed it up here in the corner. And they also included some posters from, like, let's see, appearing at. So these would have been the posters they would have sent out, where they would have put appearing at the bottom. So they just included some of that with the records, which was so nice and not expected at all. But she was lovely. We were close enough to the stage when she was tearing down after the show. We talked to her a little bit, and she was really, really, really kind and super fun. Great concert. Her music is really beautiful. She plays guitar. She has some electronic elements to it. She just has a really beautiful voice. So I can't say enough good things about Frankie Rose, and I would really recommend you all check her out if you've not listened to her already. So again, these are just some of the items I was able to pick up. A lot of autographed copies, but a lot that were exclusive to websites, exclusive color combinations, and obviously some extra perks or box sets that you couldn't get otherwise unless you ordered them directly from the artist. So I really just appreciate knowing that I'm supporting an artist a little bit more directly, and that I feel like even for a couple dollars more, I'm getting something a little bit more, because as you all know, nobody is happy spending $25 to $50 for an album, and a lot of people won't, but I'm a little more apt to do so when I feel like I'm getting something a little more in return for that. And I just could not say enough good things about kind of the process that we've went through in this past year, and the way we've been able to connect with artists that we love and support them and get something a little unique for our own collection. And I really appreciate that. Again, though, if you can get out in the wild and get an autograph and have somebody sign something in person, I'm all for that, because that's super, super fun too, and a great challenge all on its own. But I will never turn down a record that comes with an extra autograph or anything like that. I just think it's really awesome. So as a fan, and to me, and that includes books, I have a lot of great, obviously books that are signed, but things I would go to Comic-Con and have signed, things I've maybe looked at and paid for that come with a little something extra that way. But I purposefully go out of my way to get those because I like them and they're meaningful to me. And they may not all be meaningful to you guys, and that's okay. And maybe some of these options, again, are not always the most affordable, but just think about where you buy your records, where you buy your books, how you're spending your money. And at a time when a lot of folks are concerned about cost, maybe it's just something to think about, just a way to get something you love and feel a little better about it. Or I don't know, there's just a lot. So hopefully you find that interesting. Hopefully it's made you think a little bit. If you have any great stories about how you've been purchasing records, maybe ways in which you've saved money, some nice surprises that you've gotten from ordering from direct to an artist's website. Maybe they've included something, like you've ordered something and you open the box and they've surprised you with something fun and extra. And I think that's super cool. I'd love to hear about that too. So until next time, I hope you guys are all spinning some great tunes, that you're going to hit like and subscribe and come back to see me. And, that you find a little treasure in everything that you buy. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.